Rokk, I've got a little problem. I can't hear you.
I know, you can now. Look, I mean, I'm so chilled. I don't mind if I get the old microphones wrong. I hope you enjoyed that intro, the old countdown I set up there for you. I wanted to run it a lot longer, actually, but hopefully you enjoyed that. So you'll have sound now. What are you waving at? Oh, he can't hear me. Oh, if I unmute myself, then everybody hears me. Just put your YouTube on, Duncan. Everybody else is fine with it. What the hell's wrong with you, man? I can't sort him out for a second, but I'm sure he can listen on there. How are you guys? Take a sip. Seat your coffee. I'm sorry, mate, but I don't know how to sort you out. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Give me a 5-second break while I sort my boy out here. There you go. Now everybody hears me, which is not what I wanted.
And I can hear you as well, because I couldn't hear you either.
No, everybody can hear me. They just couldn't hear you. And now they can hear me twice. You see, I can't spend all day long getting this sorted.
I know you wouldn't believe the amount of time you go in and try and get this all to get this all set up.
No, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Talk to the folks for a second, Duncan.
Hello, everybody. Are you all happy to be here? No, thanks for
useful.
Yeah, very useful. Yeah, thanks for everybody for coming to join here. And I'll just fix my camera here as well. Just get down and fix it. I was like, But being another good week for Stadia, lots of good news that came out for it. We've got some games coming. We've got I better check our show notes for today. That would help a little. We have some updates. We've got YouTubers are actually promoting Stadia now. And we've got some more pro deals. So I think we're going to do this all. We're going to be going through this all. So it's going to be all good crack here. So what have you guys been enjoying playing? What's up, Daryl? What's up, she who shall not be named, aka Kelly? Hi, Happy Cloud.
Of course, you may not be hearing an echo. That might just be me. No, I'm fairly convinced you would. Let's have a look. If I take that down there, that gets rid of... Can you tell me in the chat if you're hearing me echo? Because if you're not, then I shall carry on. I suspect you are. I can...
And I've got my unicorn cup today. Holtz can hear an echo when you rock.
Yeah. That's because in order for you to hear me... Keep talking, Duncan. You don't give up that easily, mate.
Yeah, but yes, I do. I can give up easy as much as I want.
Tell them how the world of Cloudy's been this week.
So Cloudy has been really good this week. We have a load of articles up. We have Jem doing more teardowns and stuff and finding things, which is really good. Yes, Kelly, I am so lazy. The echoes only a new Adam.
Yeah, they're me largely because that's the only way you can hear me at the moment. The way I've set this up, and we ran out of time at the very end there. They shouldn't hear one anymore. That should not be a little bit of an echo.
Maybe not now. You've took that thing away, so hopefully that should help, and you should be able to echo now.
Almost there.
Oh, are you just going to start this off again with the thing?
Right. No.
And can you hear me now, Rokk?
Yeah, mate. I can hear you fine.
That's all right. Dave, what you have missed is it wouldn't be one of our shows if there wasn't technical issues. So I've had another slight technical issue.
Well, yes. So that's interesting. Okay, well that maybe cured it then. Guys, can you tell me if you can hear me in the chat now, but not hear me twice? And then we'll be good to go, I think. You guys let me know how that sounds. That's good. Thank you. Right, now we are in business, which is what I like. Thanks for okay, I can see what the issue was now, and good old NVIDIA. Anyway, it don't matter. The important thing is we're live. Okay, watch this. Hi, good morning, welcome. It's 10-ish. Anyway, look, you know what? We're so super chilled, aren't we? It's Sunday. And yeah, my superhero voice filter. Thanks, Jem. Oh dear. It's I don't know about where you are, Duncan, but it's super sunny where I am, and it was a hideous day yesterday. So yeah, that's really cool. The stream should look really HD. I've been working hard on this, Jem. Honestly, you wouldn't believe it. The work I've been doing to make it look super duper special. The audio always catches us out. It's a classic in streaming that if it's going to catch you out, it's going to be audio. Right, you know what? I've not designed us to sit on this screen all day like we're currently doing. Let's move on to our first and most important, I think, for so many people. Let's have a look at what we've got to that's been going on this week.
The latest news from Stadia.
Right, so Duncan, the latest news. We're going to start right at the top with this super. We've got three new games that have been announced in the last few days. Super Hot Mind Control Delete, Strange Brigade, and Sniper Elite 4. They're both from Rebellion, aren't they? The same guys that do the zombies. Uh-oh. No, Duncan. Hang on. Okay. Can you hear Duncan?
I hope you can hear me.
Hopefully
I
they can hear you, mate. You just crack on.
I'll just crack on. I'll probably, if you can't hear me, Kelly will come and give me a slap in the head.
Which is not very useful to me. So let's work on this a bit more. Where are we? Here we go. Can you say something for me, my friend?
Believe it or not, Dave, I haven't actually muted myself.
Dear, this is what happens when it all goes horribly wrong. Right, what time have we got here? 10:12. I'm going to call it. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to put you on the countdown, guys, and I'm going to come back in a second so I can just get this sorted. Don't worry, it's going to be worth it. That Hello.
I think they can't hear you, Rokk, or can you hear me?
Do you know what? They can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. So yeah, welcome to Stadia Rokks Live. It's Sunday morning. This is one of the most chilled times of the week, isn't it? And because the show is aimed at casual gamers and people that are just busy generally, you know, family, work, life, it all gets in the way. This is why we have this show for you guys on a Sunday morning. So we've got a few things to talk about. We've got some news. We've got the old Rokk review. We've got Ask Cloudy. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. How's your week been, Duncan, my friend?
My week hasn't been bad at all. It's been a lot of fun getting some gaming in on various things, and it's been good crack. Played some creative this week with young AndyMorphs, who I think was in the chat earlier.
Yes, he
He,
popped
he,
in.
he popped in and he was doing a live stream last night, and of course we've had our regular PUBG sessions on a Friday night. Do you want to give someone a wee shout out this morning?
Yeah, thank you very much, actually, for reminding me of that, Duncan. Last week I meant to do it and I forgot. So there's a little chap, a little tiny fella, whose dad is one of my patrons, and I promised that I would give him a shout out. So hi, Derek. Hope you're having a cracking day with Dad. Get out and play some soccer or whatever it is that you guys do on a weekend, and give him a big hug from me. Thank you for reminding me about that, Duncan. That's really important. I promised I would do that. Right, let's, without further ado, see what's going on in the news.
The latest news from Stadia.
Now then, we had 3 new games. Well, actually, we had more than 3, but we had 3 games announced from Stadia in their community blog post just the other day. They were Super Hot Mind Control Delete, Strange Brigade, and Sniper Elite 4.
Yep, 3 games which have been announced there. Super Hot Mind Control Delete. This is basically a re-announcement of this. This was announced many months ago. It was coming to Stadia, but now we've complete official announcement for that. There's going to be a lot of confusion with this, so I'm just going to break it down nice and easily for people. If you picked up Super Hot as a pro game, you will have to buy this as a separate sort of game and expansion. If you bought Super Hot, you will get this expansion stroke new game for free. So just to reiterate that, if you've got this as a pro deal, as in you got it as a free pro game, you will have to buy this game. If you bought it out from your own pocket, you won't have to buy this. So that's a bit of confusion about that game. So I think the vast majority of people will have to buy this game.
Right, because I do have it, and I have played a bit of it, but I haven't completed it. But I know that it's not, the first one's not massively long, is it? Because I think it was developed for the old VR, and they tend to be fairly smaller games, don't they?
Yep, they do. It was developed for VR. It was also developed in a game jam. For people who don't know what a game jam is, that is, you've got like 24 hours or 48 hours to actually make a game, and they made the concept during that game jam, and they just expanded it out as well. So it's quite fun, and it's the most innovative shooter I've played in years.
Wow.
If anybody gets that joke, that is actually a joke for people who play the game.
Went over my head.
Yeah. So, it's a really good game. It is, even though that was a bit of a joke there, it is an innovative game, and it's well worth checking out.
Excellent. And the other 2, Strange Brigade and Sniper Elite 4, they are from Rebellion, are they not?
They are. They're both from Rebellion. They're both older sort of games. Sniper Elite's a couple of years old, and Stranger Brigade is actually a bit further out there. It's many years ago, but they're going to be 2 good games to get onto this system, because more games are better. Not all games will appeal to you. It's always better to have more games than less games. So just get them out there, and we can enjoy them.
Yeah. No, I played Sniper Elite 4 I played it with my little nephew, little George. We had great fun. It's a really good game. I love the Sniper Elite series anyway. That old kill cam is something to behold. But it's really good fun. I'd absolutely play that again.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be playing that as well when it comes out. Should we go into some speculation?
Is it positive speculation, Duncan?
I
don't do negative speculation.
No, it's positive speculation. I think we're going to get
Speculate away.
Strange Brigade as a pro game this month, because it's the timing of it coming out is very suspicious. It is coming out the 1st of August.
Okay.
So that would lead you to think it may be a pro game for this month coming up.
Ooh.
If you want to get a bit more background of Sniper Elite, Stranger Brigade or Strange Brigade and Zombie Army 4. There's actually a book sale going on where they're actually showing off their
Rated T for teen.
Their novels, and you can pick that up for £1 or $1.25, and you get 5 books.
So that's like all the lore and the backstory and all that stuff, is it? Is that what that's all about?
Yeah, that's 5 novels in their universe, so it's well worth picking that up. You can check that out on Cloudy. And it's
5 novels?
Yeah.
Crikey.
5 books. So off you go if you want to get more info on it for £1 or $1.25. It is well worth checking out at that sort of price, and you actually help the devs as well, because they are big supporters of Stadia, because that's going to be free games onto the system.
That's true. So is it a bit like Zombies then? I mean, it's I'm guessing it's using the same engine as the Sniper series, or I mean, this looks like Lara Croft to me, or kind of.
Yep, it's a bit the Strange Brigade one is a bit more adventure-y. It gives me the vibes of a bit of Indiana Jones, but again, I'm pretty sure it's co-op again.
Okay.
Sniper Elite. With Zombie Army, you can just jump in and just go around shooting things. It doesn't matter which gun you've got. In Sniper Elite, I think the name's in the title. You're going about sniping.
Sniping elitely.
Exactly. So it's a bit more stealth orientated here. So it is well worth checking that out as well.
This Strange Brigade looks fun.
It does.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's. Thanks, thinking the chat. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was pretty sure it is 4 players as well, so you can play this in co-op. So again, we're getting these 2 games are going to be more co-op, which we've talked about many times before. That is a big thing for Stadia, is that they really like their co-op games.
Yeah, personally, I prefer Littles, but it's a personal thing.
I thought
little UK joke there, folks.
I thought you would be more Marks and Spencers, to be honest.
Yeah, you thought I'd be more Marks and Spencers. Actually, do you know what? I'm not being funny, mate. I don't shop. I mean, forget the old lockdown. I leave that to people that are far better at those things than me. I couldn't tell you where our grub comes from. Cheapest possible place. If I have anything to do with it.
So you steal it then? Everybody, we've got it on the stream here. Rokk steals his food.
I don't. Yeah, well, we grow a bit of it in the old garden, mate. That's one of the things that we do. We put spring traps for cats. Passing hamsters, that kind of thing. Any road up. Big news. An update for Wavebreak. Now, Wavebreak actually has been a really popular game, hasn't it? In spite of the fact that it did launch, it was kind of really hardcore. I couldn't get past the first level, but the update should fix all that, yeah?
The update should make things a little easier. They're increasing the times for the campaign, because I think it was 2 minutes before, and I'm not sure if anybody else. I was struggling to get even one thing done in that, because if you remember for the campaign version of it, you've got a number of challenges to do. You've got like a checklist to do. I got about 6-7 of them done, and then I was beginning to struggle. It was a really tough game. So what they've done, they've listened to the community feedback, and they've dialed things down a bit. I still think they need to dial them down a wee bit more, and maybe add in a wee tutorial.
Yeah.
But there is fun aspects to the game. The multiplayer death matches are great fun. You can dip into that, and there is a lot of things here. Some of the big things they've done is they've added HDR support. I'm just sorry reading this off the camera here. They've added the biggest.
You've got a fancy camera that you can read stuff off of. Wow.
Oh, I thought I was looking off camera.
Oh, right. I want one of them.
Yep. So they've just adjusted things. You get more money, so you can go to the gym to upgrade your character, so that makes things easier. They're trying to make it. They're still trying to make it a tough game, but I think they've realized that the learning curve is too high and it's too hard for a lot of people to get into. Right. So they've actually reduced it down. What's shown off there, or partly, was the deathmatch. Again, if you're not into the skateboarding things, when this game goes on offer, it is even worth picking up for the multiplayer death matches, because it is good fun. And I believe they are going to be increasing the number of people who can take part in them shortly. So
we did. It was one of our Rokk reviews, wasn't it? One of our earlier Rokk reviews, and I think we rightly said that as much as it is a great game, and and we're all for supporting independent studios, absolutely, all the way down the road. But we just felt that for casual gamers, the people that we're trying to champion, it's maybe at that time it was maybe just a little bit too complicated. Would you? I haven't played it since the update, or when I don't think you have either yet, have you? I don't think it's out yet. But what do you think this will help? Will we need to go back and re-review it? That's a question.
Some people have went back. I've had a quick look at it. It's easier. It is still a hard game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They've reduced it down, but these are positive steps going forward. But here, the biggest positive you can take from it, they're coming back and they're listening to their community feedback. People say the game's still too hard. I think they'll go back and maybe adjust some more things, because they seem to be very responsive to the community.
I know. I did see. I think it was Bill from Stadia Cast said to them, similarly, yeah, loved the game, but found just the learning curve, the initial kind of curve to get up into the game was way too long. And they said, yeah, that should be less, but we haven't made it easier. So and to be fair, that doesn't. I mean, you were mentioning the other day, Duncan, that Celeste, as a game, everybody raves about it, but it's real hardcore platform. So there's a place for that. And, not every game should be simple and easy in a 5-minute play. Just from our perspective, if you are a casual gamer with very little time to spare, that's not necessarily the game that you're going to put at the top of your list.
No, not at all. It's some games I have absolutely zero problems with games being for really, really hard, like your Dark Souls, your Celeste, which is coming, or this game at all. But if you're trying to cater to the wider audience, you do need to have the different levels.
Yeah.
A game I'm playing at the moment on a different platform, which we won't mention which platform, is Neon Abyss. It is a roguelike, and roguelikes are usually you've only got one sort of level. It's really hard sort of thing, but they've actually made an easy mode, they've made a normal mode, and made a hard mode, and that just opens up so many doors, and it makes games just so more appealing to people. It is really it is the bit for me. If you're going hardcore, that is absolutely no problem at all. But I think most games should have like an easy mode, a medium mode, and a hard mode, just to get everybody out there, because everybody's at different levels, and sometimes you just want to come out and just play. You like the look of the game, but it's a little too hard, so you might just drop it down to easy, and there's nothing wrong with that, and you can just go and have fun.
Yeah, and we're all about attracting a new audience, and that's a lovely little segue, Duncan, to our next piece, which is these two guys, Lamar Wilson and Dan TDM, which I know if you're into YouTubing, into game streaming, you'd know who these guys are. I didn't have a clue, but I did watch this young chap, and he is rather professional. Now, the interesting bit of news here is that they were both sponsored to do a piece on Google Stadia, and I have to say, they did a good job. I mean, I really enjoyed. I have only watched young Dan's piece, but it was excellent. And I'm guessing that Lamar is famous for making weird noises and screeching at the top of his voice just purely by the images that I'm looking at. But is this a sign of things to come?
I absolutely do think this is a sign of things to come. In my different forums and in different places I've went and talked about Stadia, YouTube is going to be their number one selling point going forward. Yeah. And what I find really interesting about these two videos that they did, what the two games were, they were Karita and they were Orcs Must Die. And these two games are basically Stadia exclusives. Orcs Must Die is on PC, but for console players you will need to be able to play this on Stadia. So it was two brilliant games to actually showcase, and I think that they did a good job of selling the service in both of these. It's going to be absolutely brilliant going forward for Stadia when all these YouTube features come on board. A game I just did a big review or preview on is Death by Chocolate, as we call it.
Death by Chocolate.
Death by Chocolate. Death by Daylight.
See, you can't say it now, can you? It's so in your head. You can't say any different.
Yeah. And that is going to, if YouTube and Stadia work together, they could absolutely make here we go, bad pun coming, a monster of a game for this going forward. Yes. Coming up to Halloween, get streamers on playing it, showing off crowd choice, letting their viewers jump in. This is going to be absolutely massive. And then you've also got Bomberman coming, which we've done another preview of that as well, and Cloudy. Forget the numbers, it's just went from 60, 70 odd people playing Bomberman together. And that it's got crowd play as well. Drop a link in. I think that's going to make it onto our Saturday or Friday night thing. Just drop a link in there, and then people can just join in and play. Get in.
Sorry, go mate.
I was going to say, getting Dan TDM especially in is absolutely massive. The number of people that follow or subscribe to him on YouTube is scary.
Well, 23.5 million apparently.
Yep.
That ain't no small beer, is it?
It definitely isn't. And then you've got the other guy, Lamar Wilson. He's got nearly 2 million people subscribed to him. So you're talking 2 major players in that sort of screen or in that thing. So this is a real positive for Stadia that they're pushing out to these ones. So
yeah, no, Andy, and hi Andy, how are you, bro? In the chat is saying exactly this, that he's a legend. He is a legend. I mean, I'd never watched him before. I think I'd heard younger folk mention his name, but I did watch the video and I was super impressed. I thought it was excellent, really enjoyable. I just had it all going down. But he does the whole video is on Crater, and absolutely. I mean, I wanted to play it genuinely. Watching it, I thought, I want to get back into Crater. He did a cracking job. I mean, 1, brilliant for Stadia. 2, fantastic for Crater, which I know is Andy is championing, rightly so as well. So yeah, absolutely excellent. Great to see that happening. I'd love to see the data. I'd love to see what numbers increases they have seen since these 2 gents have been commissioned to do that piece. But they both, to be fair to them both, I think you would tell if they weren't impressed, and they both seem really impressed, as much as they were, getting a couple of quid and a bag of toffee apples for their troubles.
Yeah, but what I want to see going on forward, I would like to see a series of these games going on, or a series of videos from Dan TDM, because that's what's going to be key going forward. We need lots of videos from these and people, not just one-offs now and again. If the Mar does like a playthrough of Orcs Must Die, a full playthrough, or Dan TDM just goes back in every couple of weeks and create it, that is going to be massive as well. These one-off things, I'm hoping are going to go into more longer-term sort of ones.
No, definitely, fantastic. So that's great news. That's lovely to see. And then we were we were rocking around the clock on Wednesday night, and we went live with a massive piece of breaking news. I mean, it was probably I would say Pulitzer Prize winning and one of Duncan's most important and impressive pieces of journalism ever, so much so that he can't wait for me to cover it again. And it is, of course, that household favourite, or Uno, is coming to Stadia at last. And we know we've all been waiting for this.
Yeah, again, this is just another game to get people on board. It's another Stadia game. It's co-op. It's going to be a game to dip in and out of, because that is just something, again, which we're seeing. We're seeing lots of games you can play, dip in, dip out, and go back to it now and again. Like, there's so many party games coming to Stadia, and that's, to me, that's absolutely grand, because
I agree.
You can just Stadia, you don't have to download them. I feel like a wee game of Uno here, fired up. I feel like a game of Monopoly, which is already on the service, would just fire it up, and you don't have to download it. You don't have to wait. And then we've got like Get Packed as well.
Yeah,
we've got so many games like this where you can just you've got a party in the house. Christmas is coming up, or Christmas. Your Christmas party, you've got all your folks around, you've got your family around. Oh, we'll stick this on because everybody can just join in and have fun.
Yeah, and I think one of the concerns that quite a few of us had was that when they do bring out the family share, which we'll have a little chat in a second about that. So don't go away, Jem, because you might even get mentioned. But when they do bring out the family share, the fear was that we wouldn't be able to play games at the same time. And obviously, if you're encouraging developers to pull up Uno and Monopoly and co-op based games, that kind of defeats the whole object of having everyone in your family having access to Stadia. But we'll cover it up in a couple of news items down the road. We think now, largely thanks to the work that Jem's been doing, that might not be the case. So we may actually get an opportunity to play with our loved ones at the same time, which is excellent news.
Yeah, it is. What I would say, we've just qualifying this all. If you even go back on the James videos, and the work he does is absolutely amazing, going through everything.
Yeah.
They have changed the family sharing. Everything is a movable feast.
Yeah, it's all in flux, isn't it?
Yeah. So what is saying today could be different what it says tomorrow, and so on. So just be wary of what everything's doing. Jem is just reporting on what he is seeing now, so that is amazing. Yeah. So
they've done an amazing job, and don't worry, I'll be blowing some more smoke in a second, mate. We'll get to you. He knows I love him. Right, so that's Uno, and then we quickly flick across to our friends at Google, who this week have put a bumper bag of deals our way. Again, this was announced this week on the community blog. Very quickly, let's run through these. So we've got new ones in the sense that they've never been pro deals before, I'm assuming, or that they're new for this crop of pro deals. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And what have we got here? We've got Assassin's Creed, still one of my favourite games on Stadia. I'd still dip in. I haven't completed it yet. It's one of those, I mean, I did do a review of it in my very early videos, and I said at the time I thought it was a high-marking, casual game, because truthfully, you can jump in, do a couple of little missions, jump out again. It's all super easy. You can park your way all over the place. Yes, my lady. Little Thunderbirds joke there for you folks. And, just generally chill out. So it's great to see that they've dropped that down to what would be approximately £15 in this fair aisle. Mortal Kombat 11. They've they keep chipping away on that one, don't they? I think it was I think it has been at a lower price, but it's still kicking around at a fairly sensible price. And I know, again, they're not. I'm not a button masher, but I know that people that aren't even massively into those games say this is definitely the best one. If you're going to have one in your library, you will have fun with it. NBA, that's gone back up because for a little while that was cheap as chips. As Sonny said in his recent review, probably not a good time to buy it because we're couple of months away from NBA 21, 2K21, which is going to be on Stadia, and at that point this will be a ghost town. So yeah, you pay your money, you take your choice. I personally would probably leave that. The Crew for $15, that's good. That's a great game. We've got a gold edition for just a couple of dollars more, so you may as well pay for the upgrade. And Trials Rising, which keeps bobbing along. I've got a theory about Trials Rising, actually. In fact, I've got a theory probably about a lot of these here. And we did cover this a little bit, didn't we, as part of our breaking news on Wednesday. And the theory, therefore, isn't much of a theory because it was yours. I've just realised I got it from somewhere. No such thing as a unique idea. And that is, of course, that Duncan said on Wednesday, and we're going to hold him to this, that Uplay Plus is probably, I think you said October, didn't you, Duncan, for an October release?
October 10, when the big games come out, the Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, and Watch Dogs Legion to get people buzzing about that. So yeah.
And so, you're going to expect them to drop the price on a lot of these titles leading up to Uplay Plus coming to Stadia, because once you are in the Uplay Plus land, you won't be paying for them. So they're going to be trying to squeeze the last pennies out from the towel before they bring on the Uplay Plus, aren't they?
Yep, exactly. And here's something to get thinking about. Everybody, myself included, was every month you protect the Ubisoft game is going as a pro deal.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's something we should do at the end. Our pro deal
Pro
prediction.
deal prediction. Well, certainly this time of the month. Yeah.
Our free pro game of the month. But every month, everybody predicts like a Ubisoft game, and we haven't had one single Ubisoft game as a free pro game as yet. So
curiouser and curiouser, said Alice.
So
yeah, I think we're very close to Uplay Plus, and we've done that to death, so we know what that's all about. Everyone's excited about it. It's coming, but we're going to see more and more Ubisoft deals, I think, as we progress very quickly. Those that haven't committed to the $10, £8.99 a month, you've also got some decent deals. So Lost Words Beyond the Page for $12. What's that? Roughly £10. What a great game that is. Again, support independent studios, folks. They need it. Those AAAs don't exist without these guys. So let's throw. I'm always up for it. If I see an independent title on here, I buy it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to a great cause. Mortal Kombat again. They've got Mortal Kombats. They've got the NBA 2Ks. They're not massively different in the prices. Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, I so much would wish that would drop. I have played it and completed it on PlayStation and loved it, but I just so want to play it on Stadia, and it's just never going to be that lower price because it's an eternal high seller. They don't need to drop the price. Supply and demand, folks. So and the crew as well. So they're all in there. There's a few others that have been there for a little while that are worth looking at.
I'm going to add a couple of wee things here. First thing is first, as Kelly has just said in the chat, if you have not used your £10, $10 off, they work with these deals, even though they're not meant to work with these deals. So you could actually pick up a couple of these for buttons, basically. My take on games which are worth at this sort of price, Assassin's Creed, if you've got your £10 off, is a no-brainer. It is an absolutely amazing game, and you can dip into it, dip out to it. As like you said, you can do you can do a couple of the camps or whatever. It's a perfect game to dip in and out of. The Crew 2 for $15 or £10, and Kelly got it for £6, and that was the gold edition.
Nice. That was a great deal.
Because she didn't use her £10 off, so she got it really cheap. And the game you have mentioned as well, Lost Words Beyond the Page, if you have not picked that up, 100% pick that up. It is a real good game, and it's something completely different out there.
It's a very intelligent, beautiful game. It looks great. The story's amazing. I did hear somebody the other day say, "Oh, if you want to get a game and dump the kids in front of it." No, I wouldn't do that. I would sit with the kids and play it with them, because there are some questions around mortality that I think it's better if you're there to support them. Just me personally. I'm not a big fan of dumping kids in front of TV. But playing it with your kids, you can have some fantastic conversations around the content of this game.
Yep, exactly. It's a real good game just to play along with the kids. I wouldn't dump them in front of it. Play along, talk them through the story as well.
Yeah.
And as Happy has also said, there, Red Dead Redemption 2 is finally getting an update off of the online.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to go into that a bit more detail on Cloudy in the coming days when we get even more info on it.
Fantastic. We shall look forward to that, my friend. That, I believe, is it as far as the news is concerned. We've covered a fair bit of ground there, haven't we? So I reckon we should move on to this.
What's up, Rokk?
So what's up, Rokk?
Well, there you are. You came back. It is a tiny little bit of delay. I'll tell you what's up, Duncan, if I'm honest with you. And the sun's shining and I'm feeling good, so I don't mind asking you this kind of a question. It's not the one that's on there. I do that every darn week. There we go. I've read about tearing down the Stadia app APK, and I've even watched a few videos from one of my favourite YouTubers, Jem, who happens to be in the chat. What does it mean? What does he mean? What's an APK anyway?
The APK is basically they've actually got notes for this. Isn't that really weird, isn't it?
Your camera.
You're on my camera on the other side there. Basically, when the new update comes out for the apps, you can go in and deconstruct them and then go through line by line what's been added to the app. And sometimes you get little gems.
Ah, hey, see that one? I tell you what, he's worth paying for, folks.
Yeah. I made that joke as well earlier in the website, and you can get some little gems.
I bet Jen was like, "Oh God, I hear it every day." Oh,
I know. You can get some information what may be coming with the latest update to these apps. So basically, they get the APK, which is just basically the application, and they decompile it. So they open it up and then just it's not like in English. It's actually in code, and you can work out bits and bobs what is going to happen. Maybe down the line, or what they're thinking of working on. And this week, there's been one 9 to 5 started the APK, and Gem and Stadia Source also started looking to see what else they could find. Basically, this one is there looks like there's microphone support coming to mobile app play. Also, looks like you will be able to play on your mobile phone soon without having to have it connected to the Wi-Fi as an experiment. Sorry, I didn't see that comment there.
So don't worry, you don't need to see it. Carry on, my friend.
Sorry, I thought it was. It looks like you'll be able to play on mobile soon using your mobile network instead of having it connected to the Wi-Fi as an experiment. So again, what we're mentioning here doesn't mean it's coming. It's just in the APK, which means it may be being worked on, but the chances are there's a fair chance these stuff will come. We also got more information on the family sharing. So again, when you look at these APKs, it's about 60-70% that they're going to be coming. It's not up there like when the games get listed on ESRB. They're much more likely to happen. These things mentioned in APKs could happen, but they could happen next week. They could happen years down the line, or they might not happen at all.
May never happen at all. I know because you are a genius. And
No.
I wouldn't want to put you on the spot normally, but what does APK stand for?
Now you're flipping telling me.
I knew I could catch you out. Come on, you know what it stands for, surely. You know that it's an Android package, don't you, Duncan?
Yes, I
was
just
I'm just helping. I mean, you know all these things.
You just like showing off and putting me on the spot. I'm awful when I'm put on the spot like that.
I would never do that to you, my friend.
Yeah. The interesting one for me with this latest one is it's the family sharing. Again, I know everybody's banging on about the family sharing. For me, that's not the big takeaway, because I think that is common, but there's so many problems with the family sharing, because there will be legal hoops to have to go through. They'll have to contact all the publishers. Some publishers won't want it shared.
Yep.
I just see the family sharing one being it's going to be a minefield. So anything I see in the family sharing, I'm not taking it with I'm taking it with a pinch of salt until we get the official confirmation. The one that actually is the big one for me is play on mobile data. I believe that is coming by the end of September at the latest. And you go, why do you think that? The reason is xCloud is going public in September, and you can already play it on your mobile network without having to have it connected to the Wi-Fi. So that is why I think this is going to come sooner rather than later, and it will be under an experiment, and there are going to be lots of quotes saying this is not ideal scenario for this to play. We do not recommend this. Blah blah blah. Do with the mobile phones as well. It's not 100% supported. This is in testing. This isn't beta. But I believe this one is coming reasonably soon.
So I've just put a link in chat to the wrong place. How many times do I do this? Don't click on that one, folks. You'll blow your computer up. What you want is that one, which is Jem's video. There was some fascinating stuff in this. One of the things that I thought was quite interesting was that the forthcoming mobile network usage looks like it's going to be capped at about 480 pixels rather than even 1080, which I thought, or even 720, which is of course xCloud. I thought that was quite interesting, Duncan.
Yeah, that is quite it. That's to save some bandwidth. That might actually indicate that we may be getting it into some other countries as well.
Yeah.
When because of the caps and the infrastructure's not as great, though the mobile infrastructure's not as good. So I'm actually, that doesn't surprise me. And there's been a lot of talk about xCloud's only 720p, but they don't care. It's only 720p because most people are going to be playing that on their mobiles. Stadia actually has to worry about having the TVs as well. So it's for me the 420 or 480, 720, it's not a big, massive game changer on mobile devices because it's on a much smaller screen, so you don't really need it as much as that, even though as much as I love that new phone from the Republic of Gamers. Yeah, don't be worrying about the numbers. Just go and play it and see if it's dead on for you. That's great.
Thanks, Doug. I was getting a bit worried. I think, do you know what? My only concern, and you're right, I mean, it'll be rolled out as an experimental feature, and the same as they've done with access to all Android devices. Hello, what happened there? That was magical. But what does worry me is the fact that you're going to get a lot of the other platforms going, we've got full 720 on our device, or using xCloud or whatever the other service is, or that for me is probably the kind of, are they not just lining themselves up for a slap?
Again, it's the APK. I think it's going to be in flux.
Right.
So again, APKs are more like an indication where they're thinking, where they're going. It doesn't mean that they are going that way. You could be all cynical here and go, that could be just trying to put people off the scent.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So you think they're being clever? They're playing double psych, sort of making us all go, 480p, and then they go, 4K. It was just a little typo in the APK.
Yeah. It could be something
be
like
nice,
that,
wouldn't it?
or they're putting the 480 in as the lowest possible sort of one, and that's actually there's just so many different things.
It could happen. But I know, as Happy says, and as I've said, this is all in Gem's video, folks. Go and look on YouTube for Gem Stadia. Not Get Pack Challenges. That's somebody else completely. That's Mr. Morphs. It's my version of the Stadia APK Teardown 2.26, and he talks about that. He also talks about the fact that Family Share looks like it's going to be expanded out, because it kind of, I think there was a string that said something like you've reached the maximum amount of people that can use Family Share or play a game with Family Share, which to me sounds like, yes, we're all going to get to play together, which is, for me, that's manna from heaven. I'll happily pay everybody in the family to have an account if we can all play the games together.
Yeah, again, with the Family Share, I would be, until we get the actual confirmation, I would be very worried about that, because it's going to be up to the publisher, and I'm going to say it's going to be on a game-by-game basis.
Okay.
Because on the other platforms as well, there's some very strong and strict licenses involved where you can't actually do Family Share with all the games. So I think it's going to be a mix. I think you're going to get some games you'll be able to play together. You're going to have some games you can only play one at a time, and there'll be some games completely ruled out that you won't be able to Family Share.
Okay.
It's going to be all different. So
fair enough. Well, there you go. So the key thing is that this is information that's taken from the very latest Android app. We'd love to say the very latest iPhone app, but sadly, we don't have playable games on the old iPhone yet, and also you can't break down an iPhone app like you can an Android app, so you wouldn't get the same info. But it's the very latest one, and as you've rightly said, the one prior to this had some slightly different information, so it's likely it's liable to change. And we've still not seen a rollout of some of the stuff that was promised in previous APKs either, so it's no guarantee of when that stuff's going to get rolled out, but it kind of is an indicator that they're moving closer, ever closer to some of those big features, and I think it's fair to assume We know, for example, that a lot of games with some of the YouTube features in are launching by September. So we're talking, inside of what, 11 weeks and less for some of those. So yeah, lots to look forward to. Great. Well, thank you very much for that, helping me out there, Dunk, with the old What's Up Rock. I always get a bit concerned. It's important for me. I just need to relax on a Sunday, and you tell me everything. Keep me all happy. So that's brilliant. Let's move on to the next feature. Now, we'll wait for him to catch us up. There he is. Rock review. Now look, you see what I've done here. Look, I've brought friend of the channel, AndyMorphs, in to say hi. There he is. He's up in the corner. You can wave. He won't see you. He won't see.
Why did you bring him in? Don't like him.
I tell you why. Because you don't like him. He's lovely. Because today the Rock review is going to be Get Packed, and Andy did. Full disclosure, Andy did an amazing launch for Get Packed, where the poor sod sat himself in a box for a ridiculous amount of time. I think he lost about 18 stone that day. All in good faith and good humour. He did a cracking job, Andy, and we love him. We love Andy. So I'm going to put a little link in the chat. So go and watch that and enjoy yourselves, because it's great fun. But Andy did a load of Get Packed play, and I thought, well, we could do our little Rock review while we watch Andy play it. So that's all useful. Let's start from the top. As you know, folks, we do our reviews differently to anybody else. We don't mark on how good they look, or how much effort's gone into the game, or how long it took to develop, or whether it's runs on 48 teraflops and employs the latest NVIDIA card graphics. No, none of that stuff's of use to us. We're casual gamers with very little time. We want to know key things. Is it quick to load? Can you pick up from where you left? What do you mean, yes? I haven't got there yet. Can you pick up from where you left off? Is it easy to play? Is it rewarding? And is it good value? And Duncan, look at him, he can't wait to get going. Let's look at the first one then, Dunk. How quickly can you get into this game from your Stadia library?
You can get in really, really quick. You can just load it up and away you go. For me, it's a 5. You can just load up, play the game. You can play in single player, multiplayer, and just go out there and just jump straight in. The only caveat, if you're playing multiplayer, you may struggle to get a multiplayer game now and again. But for me personally, I think this is more a co-op game. It's not one you would be going on to look at getting matches online. It'd be more once you're messing about with your mates. Mm-hmm. So for me, it is a 5.
A 5. I think I gave it a 4 because you've still got to go through the kind of character choice stuff and choose your game and everything. And you know me, mate, I've got no patience. I would have been an awful doctor. So I just want to get straight in. I gave it a 4 because it is rapid. Once you know the game, you can get in quite quickly. But, it takes a little bit of faffing about just to get stuck in there, doesn't it? Right, so you've given that a 5. I've given it a 4. You can keep count at home, folks.
Yep.
Can you pick up from where you left off, though, Duncan?
Yes and no. This is another one of these games where you dive in and you dive out again. However, there's a single player element to it as well, where you unlock new levels and that stays with you, and you've got all your achievements and all that, whatever you're working on. So in some ways, yes, in some ways, no. But for me, you can't really pick it up as you pick up where you left, because each level's only like 2-3 minutes long, and then that's lost. You can't go and save it at halfway through a level, but your progress is saved per level basis.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now you gave that. Oh, I just need to qualify this, of course. I keep forgetting to say this every week. Not only do we approach this from the casual gamers and busy people context, but I judge them based on people that are pro subscribers, and you judge them based on people that have bought the game. And there's some key factors to that, particularly when we get down to the value part. Because, of course, if I haven't paid for it as a pro subscriber, I'm going to have a slightly different attitude to someone who has. So having said all that, we gave this one, can you pick up from where you left off? You gave it 2 points, and I copycatted you, and I gave it 2 as well. So I think we were on par with that one. So number 3, How easy is it to play?
Anybody can play this game, in my opinion. As soon as you work out how to use the 2 triggers at the back to grab your stuff to chuck into the removing truck, it is really, really easy. And to be honest, for me, the game isn't even about that. The game is about going around trolling people and knocking people out and chucking them into the removing van. So this game, I think it's got a real easy pick up and go play, and you can play it any way you sort of want. It's just a real fun sort of game. You can get into more technical sort of things, which a lot of people don't even know about, where you can actually pack the things into boxes. I don't know anybody who actually packs the stuff into boxes. But for me, you can just pick this up and go, and you can teach anybody to play it in a matter of seconds. Just hold these 2 buttons and away you go.
It is great fun, and you're right. There are sort of levels to it. I found it a little bit. I needed a little bit of time to get my head into it because I'm not only a casual gamer, I'm a casual thinker. So if it isn't really, really, really obvious, then I have to take a little second or 2 to get my head into it. But overall, though, you're right. It's very easy to get into. I gave it a 4, and you gave it a 5. Maximum scores for that, and I think it's well deserved. Next up, is it rewarding?
I have put this as a 3. It is and it isn't. It's one of these ones where you've got challenges to do in each level if you're going to go down that route. So it gives you things to do and to aspire to, but there is no real end goal for me to make it really rewarding. The reward comes actually playing with other people, and that's the key thing. The key takeaway for this is, if you're playing this by yourself, it is a bit of, I don't want to say a slog, it's too hard of a word. It's not designed to play by yourself. It's designed to play with other people. So if you're sitting here playing this game with other people the whole time, it's going to be a 5 out from 5. If you're playing it by yourself, sometimes it's going to be a 1 because it's not really designed for that. It's sort of, it's an in-betweeny game.
You're so right. That was my initial concern with the game, and it wasn't, funny enough, until Lee Stadia Mania and I jumped in to spend an hour with Andy during his Get Packed in a Box session, and we were in tears of laughter. And then suddenly the game made sense. I think it is definitely a game you need to play with friends. If you try it solo, it's interesting, but it hasn't got that kind of reward that you get from the fun of just playing it with friends. So Happy Cloud Gamer says, I did play one day, got Get Packed, but I got bored. I was playing alone, and that sadly is the case. I just don't think it has a solo aspect to it, but frankly, you kind of want to play with. I feel sorry for Happy. You should jump on with us, mate. We'll set a little session up for you. You bless you. Right. So finally, in our Rokk review. Is it value for money, Duncan?
Yep, I believe it is. It's I gave this a 4 out from 5 for the value for money. It's a cheap game. It's going to be a game which you come back to, I feel, when you've got your friends around at Christmas, or you're having a kid's birthday party, or you just fancy a game just to mess about with. It's going to be there in your library, and you're going to spend a lot of time. I think, even with the time I've spent on it at the moment, I think I've got value for money. I actually bought this before this was a pro game. Or I was given a code, but I was looking from that perspective. But it is well worth the money in my opinion. If you're playing in multiplayer, that is the caveat. If you're playing in single player and you don't think you're going to touch multiplayer, it's a game you should not maybe pick up.
How much is it on Stadia, out of interest?
It has went out from my head here how much it is. I'll find that out here in 1 week.
Don't worry. But it has been a pro deal, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can still pick it up as I say pro deal, I meant a pro game, one that you could claim. I don't know that it still is. I certainly got it when it was, which is why I mark it highly, because any game that's free is value for me. You have to pay, but it's we need to know from Duncan's perspective, because of course if it's a AAA title price, then I would suggest that it probably isn't great value. But I don't think it is. I think it's around the £20-25 mark.
It's the $20 mark, so it's about £15-16. So it's not. It's in the nice
value. There's nothing wrong with that. That's ideal. And of course, again, CodeSync, great. To be fair, give a little shout out to CodeSync. They are about an hour's drive from where I live, down in the sunny coast of Cornwall. So, you know, let's, as I said, let's support indie developers, because they're small boutiques. They're putting in huge amounts of work. A lot of the time, they're pushing the boundaries and they're pushing the genres. And you know, a lot of the big games get their ideas from these guys. And I think I'm right in saying, Duncan, as well, that we might be seeing another game from CodeSync coming to Stadia soon.
Yeah, we may be getting another party game from CodeSync called Cake Bash. It has recently been listed on a ratings agency. So, as we said earlier about the APKs, getting rated on a rating agency is a much stronger possibility of things happening rather than the APK. So it looks like it's going to come. Cake Bash is going to be another party game. If you're aware of Mario Party, it looks a bit like that. There are mini games, but in cake format. You can actually play the demo now if you've got an Xbox or you've got a PC. The demo's out there. I have downloaded the demo for the Xbox, and it was actually quite fun. It's it's exactly what we call a Stadia game. It's a co-op, drop in and out, looks good on mobile phones, and I think it's got to have crowd play as well. And
I love the fact that they have a battle royale mode called Gato Royale, which for me is worth buying the game alone for. You know, I'm a dad joker punner. That perfect. That fits into my box. Brilliant. Right. Well, that was it. Value for money. So you gave the value for money at 4. I gave it at 5 because I didn't pay for it. We tot all the scores up. We get a pretty decent, actually, for Rokk Review. Overall pro account, that's me, 18 out of 25. Basic account, actually one higher, 19 out of 25, which is great.
That's the first time
you've come in higher than me, mate. And so overall, it's a good pickup for casual gamers and a hoot to play with friends.
And one wee tiny caveat. I believe there's going to be an update to get packed in the coming months because of crowd play. Crowd play is confirmed coming to get packed. So expect a little update to that in the coming months.
Well, that's exciting. Would that mean that they would increase the amount of multiplayers that could play at the same time?
I'm not sure about that part.
Ooh. Doesn't need to, of course. I mean, just the fact that you've got a slot and you can link it out to people in YouTube and they can jump in and play. Doesn't matter if it's only one. But, you know, I get excited. The more people we can get in, it becomes absolute chaos and great fun. And I'd love to see this game with, 20 people bashing into each other, trying to grab each other's stuff, and the van getting beaten up and graffitied. And, it'd just be like a normal day in my neighborhood, mate.
Yeah. Again, it's just going to be one which is going to be added to the streamer, or if you're a game streamer, that'll be just in your library, and you could just start that up and you can get people in to play it. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out that and see what they may actually add more bits and bobs to that when I think it might be like maybe a possible relaunch of the game when it actually comes out and with the crowd play.
Looking forward to that. Great stuff. Thank you very much for the old Rokk review there, Duncan. Right, let's ask Cloudy. Duncan, what is cross-platform multiplayer? Interestingly enough, this kind of follows on a little bit. Is this good, bad, or irrelevant to stadiums?
This cross-platform multiplayer is basically when you can play games with different consoles or PC in one game. We have a couple of these games on Stadia at the moment which benefit from this. That's PUBG. We've got The Division 2, and soon coming is Death by Chocolate. That is going to have cross-platform multiplayer as well.
It should be subtitled Death by Chocolate, shouldn't it? It really should.
It's just good, bad, or indifferent. It can be all three, believe it or not.
Okay.
But in the main, it is a massive positive, because what this means is multiplayer games should have a better chance of having a larger population for you to play. So on PUBG, if we were just playing at Stadia against Stadia people, the chances are we would maybe struggle to get matches every so often because the numbers aren't there. But because we're teaming up against console players as well, that brings in widens it up. Where the things can be a little bit different is depending on the game. If you're playing a game against PC players and it's a shooting game, they will have an advantage more often than not because of using a keyboard and mouse, because that's usually a better way of doing first-person shooters. So that's like games like Destiny and other things like that. That's more for the competitive side, but for the majority of things, it is a brilliant thing for it to have, because it just increases games, and especially lesser-known games, or it's just going to increase the chances of actually being able to play online.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of a bit of a lonely old sad fellow, really. I quite like playing solo in a lot of games, but there is nothing to compare with playing with your friends in games like PUBG. My favourite over the years has been multiplayer in Destiny, or even just normal campaigns in Destiny, raids and stuff. And you can do that, of course, in Destiny on Stadia. At least for the foreseeable future. So it's a whole other dimension. It's a little bit harder if you're a casual gamer and you're unable to kind of book slots, if you like. One of the issues we always used to have back in the day with my Destiny clan, which is still going strong, 100 people, was actually getting, because most of them, and still are, obviously, family folk with kids and jobs and stuff. So actually getting people to commit to certain times to be on to play in these things that required hours sometimes were quite difficult. So from a casual kind of busy individual perspective, it can be quite hard. But that's only if you need to schedule it with your friends. You can jump into most of these multiplayer games and play with anybody that's looking also for a game, can't you? So, just jump in and go for it. Some of them, sadly, are not as busy as others. And if there's a game that's got cross-platform, like Division, for example, that's cool, or PUBG, because you're fishing in a bigger pond of people that could potentially play with you. But I think definitely, irrespective of how good you are, and, casual gamers, even if, once upon a time they might have been ninja. They may have been some of the best gamers going. They just happen to have taken some time out to do the things the rest of us have to do. But most of us aren't. And I think one of the things when you approach multiplaying is that fear of being rubbish and people laughing at you and saying, get good and wow, man, improve and stuff. But quite honestly, if you choose the games, you don't get so much of that anymore. Not these days, particularly on Stadia, because a lot of people on Stadia are kind of age. They are casual, busy people. So get in and just enjoy yourselves, and don't worry about that.
Yeah. One other nice touch with Death by Chocolate, which is coming. Check out the article I wrote about it. There's loads of information about going into crowdplay and all that. Is they're bringing in a cross-platform friends list. So if you're playing on Stadia and your mates are on Xbox or PC, you can actually add them to your friends list. So when you're playing these cross-platform or in this game, you can actually invite them into your game as well. So you're going to have a separate. So that's another nice touch, which is going to happen as well.
You can certainly see how Google are trying to make the platform as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. We've obviously mentioned family sharing, but in essence as well, having all of these kind of options to include your friends and play with friends, or just, folks that you've seen on Twitter or that are watching your YouTube stream. That's all got to be good stuff for everybody at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just making it so easy. We can go into another thing, which is cross progression and cross entitlement, which is starting to creep in, which is absolutely amazing as well. That means if you're playing on one platform, And if you want to try Stadia, all your saves and stuff are brought over to Stadia as well, and any sort of progression. And in some games, like the Elder Scrolls has it, where if you buy something on PC and you go on to Stadia, it's going to be there for you as well. So we're moving towards where platforms are becoming agnostic, so you can just play anywhere and with anybody you want. So this is a massive thing for Stadia going forward, and it's going to help the platform so much. Anything which says cross, it's 9 times out of 10, if not, is a good thing to have. Cross-platform, cross-progression.
So what's what's cross entitlement then? What's
basically, say you're playing on PC and you're doing you're playing the Elder Scrolls on PC, and you buy the latest expansion of the Elder Scrolls. It's went out from my head what it is here, because I'm an old man now. Greywood,
Grey something.
Or Greymoor, or Grey something.
Grey Barnet.
You buy that on PC, then you load up your Stadia account, which you've got linked to your Elder Scrolls Online. You go on to Stadia, you can play it on Stadia. You don't have to buy it again on Stadia, the new expansion.
Okay. Oh, wow. So is that something we're going to see in quite a few games, or is it going to be limited? Or
Death by Chocolate has announced that's going to happen. So if you buy Killers on PC or Switch, they'll be available on Stadia, and if you buy vice versa. So that is coming. There's a tiny caveat with that. That's if Stadia gets an exclusive sort of Death by Chocolate killer or something, that you won't be able to use that when you're playing on Switch or PC. But the vast majority of it, you will be able to play. You buy it once, you can play it anywhere.
That's amazing. I love that. I think everybody wins in that rising tide, don't they? Duncan, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for giving us the old Ask Cloudy there. Folks, that's pretty much the end of our show. We got there in the end. And I just want to thank my very good friend Duncan from Course Cloudy with a Chance of Games for joining us again today with his amazing insight, knowledge, and repartee. Duncan, quickly tell people where they can find you most days of the week other than Crime Watch, which is only on a Thursday night, I think.
Yep. You seem to be expert at Crime Watch. You must be looking out for yourself. You can catch me out at One to Escape on Twitter, or at Cloudy with Games on Twitter, or the website below. If you have any questions for Ask Cloudy, just drop me a message on one of them 2 platforms, and I will put it into the big list of Ask Cloudy questions, and we'll hopefully get to your questions in the future.
I just want to say, folks, I've said it a couple of times this week, and it embarrasses the heck out of him, but do please go and visit Cloudy with a Chance of Games and follow Cloudy on YouTube and Twitter, because the thing is, the amount of content excuse me, that comes from this platform is unreal, and genuinely you would expect there to be, a kind of a room full of smoking hacks knocking out the stories and listening to getting their sources. It's one guy. This young fellow here does an amazing job, and with help from occasional legends like Raf as well, and of course the fair Kelly. But please do go and support Duncan, because he's doing an amazing job and trying to promote cloud gaming as a whole. Sorry, Duncan.
Yeah, I was just going to say, check out Raf's article. He actually deep dives onto it's went out from my head, the name of the game.
Outcasters. I read it. It's very good.
Yep. Yeah, he does a massive deep dive into Outcasters and what is happening with Outcasters. So check that out and check his video out. Also check out your article as well about Generation 2 of Stadia.
There's a little What's Up Rock on there. I must do another one for you as well, actually.
Yeah. And again, thank you for all your help with the website and all the stuff behind the scenes.
Pleasure, my friend. My pleasure. That's what we're there for, helping each other. So thank you ever so much for joining us today. Thank you if you joined us live. We're live every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. UK time and sleep o'clock anywhere else in the world. As you know, we are trying to just come up with some relaxed information for those of you that are kind of interested in Stadia but maybe a bit casual, and hopefully we've helped tick a few of those boxes today. Just a quick reminder that we, Duncan and I, will be meeting again in front of you for your watching and listening pleasure on this coming Wednesday with Rock Around the Clock. Hopefully we'll have some amazing news, as we always come a day after the big reveals from Stadia. And then Friday coming, of course. Oh, hello, he's got his finger up. For those in the podcast, Duncan has his finger up.
One thing we were meant to do before the end of the show, because we may find out before the next show, or we should find out, your Stadia free games for August. What are your predictions?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Mate, I've done absolutely zero thought towards this. My prediction is there'll be at least one. I think there will be at least one that you can play on Stadia. And I think that there'll probably be one that you could even play on your mobile phone if you wanted to. There you go. There's my predictions.
Okay, I will. We do know one is coming in Rock of Ages 3, so that's something to look forward to.
That's true. Yep.
There's a couple of good shouts out there where Serious Sam 4 could go as a pro deal. I would love that to be as a pro deal.
Mm-hmm.
Another one which we may get announced as a possible pro deal because it's in early access, and I think it would help Stadia massively, is Baldur's Gate 3 is meant to be released next month in early access.
Yes, that would be good. That would be good. I'm really looking forward to it. It's not my game. It's not a game I would play, but I am so hyped for that game.
Yeah, and we've also got Strange Brigade, which I think we've both said we think that's going to come as a pro game.
There you go. There's your predictions, folks. So we've got Rock of Ages 3, which is guaranteed because they've said so already. We have got Strange Brigade because makes sense. Rebellion putting 2 games out, you'd expect one of them to probably be a pro deal. And who knows, some surprises along the way. There you go. Thank you very much. That little impromptu put me on the spot moment there. Yep. Thought I handled it quite well. Yep. Have a cracking day, folks. I really do hope to see you all again next week. Remember, keep your head in the clouds, your feet on the ground. Rock out.